Why are my Roblox Lua functions returning wrong values? Have you ever been puzzled when your Roblox Lua functions return values that just don't seem right? You are not alone. Many developers, whether new or experienced, face this challenge. Let's break down some common reasons this happens and how you can fix them. First, one major issue is the incorrect use of return statements. The return keyword is essential as it sends back values to the calling code and stops the function's execution. If you have code after a return statement, that code will not run. For instance, if you expect to return multiple values but only return one, you might not get the outcome you want. Here's a quick example. Local function add and subtract, a, b. Return a plus b, a b. And local sum diff is equal to add and subtract, 5, 3. This captures both values correctly. If you forget to capture all returned values, you may end up with unexpected results. Next, let's talk about returning nil or unexpected values. If your function returns nil, it could be due to the logic not covering all scenarios. For example, if you are searching for an object and it is not found, your function might return nil. To avoid this, ensure that all possible paths in your function return a value. You can add default return values like this. If target found, then return target data. Else, return, this returns an empty table instead of nil. And this approach is especially helpful in functions that deal with varying conditions. Another common mistake involves function calls and variable scope. Sometimes, the function may return the correct value, but if you do not store that value properly, it can seem like the function returned nothing. Always assign the return value to a variable like this. Local result is equal to my function. Print result. Remember, variables inside functions are local by default, so you need to return them to access their values outside the function. Additionally, Lua allows functions to return other functions. If your function is returning another function instead of a value, you might be confused. To get the actual value, you need to call the returned function like this. Local function outer. Return function, return 40 to end. And print outer. This calls the return function to get 42. Misunderstanding this can lead to unexpected outcomes. Lastly, be aware that in some cases, especially within event handlers or nested functions, a return statement might not behave as you expect. This can make it seem like the function continues running code after the return. Understanding how coroutines or events work can help you avoid this issue. To wrap it up, here are some practical tips for your Roblox Lua functions. Always test your function independently with print statements to check what it returns. Use clear return statements and handle multiple values properly when calling your functions. Avoid placing any code after a return statement inside a function. When dealing with asynchronous operations, remember that return values may behave differently than in synchronous code. Organizing your functions in module scripts can also help you test them in isolation before integrating them into your game. By carefully defining your functions and using return statements correctly, you can solve most issues with Roblox Lua functions returning wrong values. Happy scripting!